Do you want to know if it's actually worth it to fly across the country with your toddler? Well, I did it, and let me tell you about my experience. Spoiler, I think it's always worth it. So we flew over 2,000 miles with our toddler, who I'm currently holding right now, and that was such an experience because that was the furthest we've ever flown with her, and I would say that would have been her 6th flight if you're including going back and forth. I think it would have been her 6th flight. After that whole trip, we had some layovers, so we did have some hurdles there to tackle, and I'll tell you how we got through that and what I recommend to do for that. After that whole trip, we ended up probably having 6 flights that whole trip. This is going to be my part 2 to how to fly with your toddler, but this time is how to fly with your toddler across the country. 6 flights later and over 2,000 miles later, we made it to Montana. So we flew across the country with our 2.5-year-old at the time, and I want to tell you my favorite tips of how we survived that and things that I would do differently next time. I always think it is so worth it to involve your children in the experiences that you have, regardless if it's hard or not, because it's something that you're always going to look back on and think, wow, I actually took them with us. We actually experienced that together. Yes, it was hard, but we survived it and we made it through. So if you see me looking down, I made some notes because I have a lot of thoughts about this, and this was our 2nd flight trip, I guess you could say, even though we did fly 6 times, or I guess we were on 6 flights throughout that whole trip because our flight down, we had a layover, and that in total made extra flights there. It was a long travel day. The flights were long. So I want to tell you the easiest way to how to handle situations when you do have a long travel day with your toddler. And toddlers are toddlers, and it's not always easy to keep them happy and keep them entertained, and we're just doing our best as parents. So I want to share some of my favorite tips with you and what you should do before the flight. So I always recommend to have snacks. There goes a jet. Did you hear that? It's a jet, military jet. Cool. Yeah. Break these down. I always think this is the best way to prep before your flight. You need to think about your snacks, the toys for your child, your water bottle of choice, an extra outfit that you can fit into the diaper bag, and everything that you're going to fit into the diaper bag. I use that as my carry-on and put my little wallet inside of that just so I had everything I needed for her and for me in that. And then I like to plan like an airport outfit, and if you're going to bring a stroller. So for the snacks, I made sure that I had a couple of my daughter's favorite snacks. I don't care what it was, as long as I knew it was her favorite snacks. If I needed to get through that flight, I could give her something that I knew that was comfort to her and that she would love. So I packed goldfish. I even brought some beef sticks. I brought some gummies. So I just brought a couple of some favorite snacks because I knew that we could always get stuff at the airport, which we did. We actually even packed a bagel really early that morning because we had to leave our house at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Why did we have a bagel? We brought that when we went on our plane. Do you remember that? We brought a bagel and she ate that in the airport as we were about to go and like have to throw away stuff that you couldn't do, which I don't think they would make her throw that away. So she ate that before because we woke up really early, and that was good to have on her belly before the flight. For her toys, I will link some stuff in Amazon for y'all because I swear by some of these toys. We use these little sticker books, and if you haven't watched my first video, you'll see that in that video. So I suggest you watch that because I'm going to share other tips that you may not see from that first video in here. My daughter uses those still to this day. We actually leave them in the car for her now because they are different scenes. So one's like a spaceship, one's like an ocean, and each different scene has reusable stickers that you can put all throughout the book, and she loves it. So that was something we definitely brought. We even brought Play-Doh and we brought some crayons, like a little mini book. And I want to show you something really cool. I shared this one, but I shared the bigger one in the other one. This time we brought a little mini one that we put in her little mini bag that she carried with her on the flight so that we can just put all of her toys in that we knew that she would need right away. And this was also in there. So this is reusable. You can draw on this. This definitely kept her entertained, and we like playing with it too. So we have the little one that we packed, and we did the big one in our bag as well. And then we also use these little miniature magnet tiles. These are super compact, so I really like these because if they fail, you could find them pretty easy, and they kind of stuck to stuff. You can actually just pull it like this. You can pull them out, and you can put them on this little thing here, or you can put them on the tray in the flight. We use them throughout the airport too. We even used it when we were at our trip. All of the toys I tried to pack were pretty useful throughout the whole trip versus just using it for the flight, and that was it. We used it at the flight and during that as well. We use the little water coloring books that you refill with water, and you paint the picture and then it dries and you get to do that again. That is so much fun and so easy to pack, and it's so small. So brought some comfort for it. I heard. We also brought some comfort little toys for her as well, which are things that she uses at the house all the time, and she still does. These are her little people. She has so many of these. These are, this one I think is, what is that called? The movie. I can't think of it. This one's like a Target one, but she has so many of these, and we packed this in her little mini book bag along with her little Minnie. So Minnie got to travel with her, and she thought that was so fun. We went to the bathroom on the flight. Dex wants your biscuit? No, Nana. No, Bubba. No. He's a he wants her food. So we definitely brought some of her little people and little Minnie as well. Her water bottle, we filled it up, and then when we got into the airport, we actually emptied it because they will make you empty it, or they'll just make you pull it out and you have to be inspected, and then it just takes a little longer. But we did pack a water bottle for her, and I recommend doing that because it's going to help so much with their ear pressure when you're taking off and landing. So the pressure will make their ears hurt if you're not having something to chew or drink to make your mouth open and close during that. So I recommend doing a water bottle and some food, one or the other, while you're taking off and landing. It'll help their pressure of their ears. I will say for our daughter, we brought a compact stroller the first time. We did not bring it the second time because it was cold when we went. We went in January, and we just didn't really think we were going to need it. Plus, she just kind of wanted to be either held or she wanted to walk. You know, toddlers sometimes just want to be walking and running. So that was another way that we got to burn energy out for her before the flight. I definitely recommend you let your child run, walk, take them everywhere. Take them to get water, let them just walk through the airport, get that energy out so that they do not feel so confined when they're on the plane. That helps so much with our daughter. And I think that was a huge benefit to why she napped on one of the flights. One of the other ones, she did not nap, and she was really fussy, wanted me to hold her, and they will sometimes fuss at you depending on who you have for holding your child. So if they do that, just do you as a mom, do what's best, you know what you need to do. And yeah, if your child becomes fussy and there's nothing that's gonna make them happy, it's okay. Just know this is just a hard moment. This will not last forever. These people you will probably never see again in your life. So if it goes to where you were so overwhelmed, so stressed, your child cries, which I definitely did, I will say, she is a child, I never seen those people again, and I probably never will. And if I ever do, I'll probably never remember what they look like, and I highly doubt they're gonna remember what she looks like. I do want to say one thing that was really interesting is my daughter had went number 2, and I was pleasantly surprised that the little changing station they had in there was the perfect amount of room. She was the perfect length to fit on that and change her. So it worked out fine. So if you ever do run into that, you're going to be just okay, because I tried to make sure that I changed her diapers right before the flight so we didn't have to worry about that. But you know, if you go number 2, you can't leave that, and I would not recommend leaving that on your child. So if that does happen, it's going to be okay. And the flight attendants were so nice and so helpful. They were even outside the door trying to see if they could help with anything. And it's just so nice because sometimes you have people that are just so helpful and want to help. I had one flight attendant that told me that she was a mom and she understood if there was anything that I needed, just to let her know. I didn't need anything, but it was just so nice to know that I had that extra support if I needed that. Also, you'll have like the boarding process. You will be able to board a little quicker because you have a child, and it's up to you. I'm 50-50 on that. My husband was 50-50 on it. We actually boarded when they told us to because our daughter had already got so much energy out. But sometimes it's also not a bad idea to board kind of later on if your child really has extra energy to get out, so that they can run and play and feel more suitable and ready for that flight. So when you're on the plane, some of the things that I did is I hoped and prayed that my daughter would take a nap. One of the flights she did take a nap, but all of the other ones she did not. And I just had to be creative and come up with other ways to entertain her and keep her happy as I could. Yes, she did get fussy. Yes, there were some meltdowns. And no, I cannot control that. But what I can do as her mom is to try to keep myself calm so that she feels calm as well, and try to keep the situation as easy as possible. So if you do run into a situation where your child has a meltdown or is fussy, do everything you know to do them. Try to entertain them with snacks, try to talk to them, try to give them screens if you want to give them screens. Sometimes they just need to be held, and other times they are just not having it. So you do what you can and you make it through. But we did download a couple of movies and a couple of games that you could use offline. We brought my husband's iPad and we did that for a little bit. Sometimes she didn't even want it. Sometimes she just wanted to play with toys, or she wanted to look out the window. Sometimes she just wanted to be held, and sometimes she wanted to cry. But that's toddler life. So it's okay if that happens. You'll make it through, I promise. One thing that I 1000% recommend bringing is the toys for your child. Even bring one extra toy that is brand new to them, so that could be like an exciting surprise for them. I will not stress enough how important it is to have some comfort items for your child, because they're going to be comfortable and that's going to feel like a little piece of home for them. At the end of the day, I 1000% think it is so worth to travel with your child and to make those memories, regardless of how hard it is, because at the end of the day, that is life, and this is going to be such a small memory in the grand scheme of their life. One thing that I would definitely do differently is to completely drop my expectations. I am a planner. Clearly, I'm making this video for you guys because y'all are planners too, and you want to feel organized and you want to feel prepared. But to be honest, sometimes you can plan everything and it may not go that way, and that's okay. I just wish that I would have dropped some of my expectations for that and really be okay with how things turn out. Next time, I will definitely just allow myself to be and not be so stressed about it, because at the end of the day, no one's ever gonna see us again. And if your child is upset or unhappy, that's okay. Or if they're loud, like right now, if they're making noises and playing and you're worried about what everybody else is thinking, don't, because they were once a child. They may have children, they may have grandchildren, and if they don't, they are in a public place where there are kids that are allowed. I really hope this video was very useful for you. So if you are going to travel across the country or just travel and fly with your child anyways, please let me know what tip was your favorite and what would you recommend for a mom that is going to be traveling for the first time, or maybe another time, but they might just be a little nervous. I love tips and I love advice, so let's be very kind in the comments and share everything with each other. If you enjoy motherhood content, everyday content, or just day in the life content and fitness, then you should definitely subscribe, and I hope to see you next time in my video. Thanks for watching. Bye.